Galaxy date 330204.02.
It's the 2nd of April, and I recently completed a community goal which required us to deliver meta-alloys to Obsidian Orbital in the Maya system. The meta-alloys are harvested from living barnacles, some of which can be found in systems close to Maya in the Pleiades sector. A number of barnacle locations have been published, so it was only necessary to jump to a chosen system, supercruise to the chosen planet, and land at the given coordinates. This turned out to be easier said than done, and more of that in a while. I chose Pleione 11A as my destination, and eventually found the site at 0.8 degrees north and 176.5 degrees east. I went here because it's fairly close to the equator of the Moon, and I thought this would make it easier to find. I started collecting meta-alloys, soon learning not to blast every needle in sight, but only those ripe ones bearing the meta-alloys. I made 3 trips in total to this site, and by the end, I was in complete darkness. The cargo capacity of my Anaconda is 160 tons, so I knew I would have to return to Maya and make my way back here. In the hope of finding some distinguishing feature on the planetary surface that would guide me in, I resolved to climb vertically above the site and look around. Pointing straight down at the canyon containing the Barnacle, I set the throttle to full astern. Leveling off at 12 kilometers, I swung the helm to look around. Of course, at this altitude, it was mountains, craters and canyons everywhere. Nothing special, in fact. Then, as the ship swung through 090, or east, I noticed the faint tip of the Milky Way on the horizon. Maybe this was the way back. By lining up an approach to have this same view, I wondered if I could reliably fly in over the equator. After dropping off at Maya and returning to Pleione, that's exactly what I tried. I needed to maneuver carefully and made a fairly slow approach, looking around for the Milky Way, trying to position the ship to have the same orientation that I had seen at 12 kilometers above the target. So, here we are 10,000 kilometers out, making a shallow approach with the Milky Way in what seems to be the correct orientation. We've entered orbital cruise and get our first indication of our position. We're at 3 degrees north and 142 degrees east. This looks good. There's no compass yet. We won't get that until we drop out of orbital cruise. But longitude is changing faster than latitude, so my guess is we're heading broadly east. And now I realise I just overshot my longitude of 176.5, so I should really have started the approach from further back. I guess what's needed is some experience of how many degrees of longitude it takes to go from orbital cruise down to a point on the surface. Then you could stay in orbital cruise and drop down when you're that number of degrees away. Now we're in the glide, we've got the compass, and we're flying pretty much along the equator, heading close to east.